of the Partial Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Episode 101 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast.
Wow.
I'm still hungover from our 100th episode.
Well, I mean, if you missed it, go back and listen to it. That's for sure. Also, guys, big announcement that we had on the 100th episode. We have a fantasy league this year for our listeners. If you follow us, so get ahead of yourself.
About damn time.
If you follow us, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Instagram or X
or
Apple,
TikTok,
Spotify.
If you can show proof of that, you are welcome to join our league. You could have as many teams as you want. It is a team that you will be picking using a salary cap and 6 forwards, 2 defensemen, 1 goalie.
2 centers, 2 left wings, 2 right wings, 2 defensemen, and 1 goalie.
As long as you stay within the salary cap, you are able to change that team, redraft it every single week.
You don't have to, but you can.
But you can, exactly. So this is going to be a fun one because we've been looking forward to this for a while. It's a league that's been, 3 seasons in the making, I guess.
We were waiting for the right structure.
And for the right people to run it with us.
Yes, so credit to Mike Batista, who helped us out with this, and he'll be the official
commissioner. That's right.
You'll hear from him throughout the year.
Yeah, and we're going to come up with a team song and a name and everything.
Guys, more importantly, you're not doing this for nothing. There will be cash prizes. That'll be determined by how many people we are, and merch prizes as well.
That's right. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun project for this year. Really looking forward to it. And it's about freaking time we have a league.
And the buy-in, I don't know. Did you mention buy-in?
No, I did not mention the buy-in.
It's fair. It's like relatively fair. It's about $15 Canadian or 20 Canadian dollars or $15 American dollars.
That's right. And you'll be able to buy as many teams as you want. So you want 1 team, you want 5 teams, you want 100 teams. Hey, man, it's all you. It's whatever you want.
So to summarize, it's 2 centers, 2 left wings, 2 right wings, 2 defensemen, 1 goalie. Redraft every week if you choose to.
Goals, assists.
You do have a cap, so you'll have to respect the cap.
A modified cap.
Yeah, modified cap, of course. We'll get into the stats later, the usual stuff, cash prizes, merch prizes. All you got to do is
really hope you guys join us.
Follow on our socials, like Nick said, X, TikTok, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. Those are the main criteria to be able and eligible to enter this fantasy league.
You're really running it down their throat, huh?
Wow. Yes, it's
Okay.
very important.
Guys, we're here to preview the Minnesota Wild.
And it's important to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, at Partial Break.
I know you got excited there, Nick, but we're previewing 2 teams, so try again.
I said Minnesota Wild and the Nashville Predators. The Smashville Predators and the Minnesota freaking North Stars. All right, guys.
Cheap shots.
Go Minnesota.
All right, let's start with a quick intro and team overview. What's your take on the Minnesota Wild heading into the season? Personally, I think they're trending upwards, but they got to resolve the whole Marco Rossi situation. Is he being traded? Is he being signed? What's going on there? What do you guys see from Minnesota, or what do you expect from Minnesota going into the new season? And can we rely on them from a fantasy perspective? Do you think? How heavily can we rely on them?
Well, I'll mention things right away. So there's a Kaprizov, there's Boldies, there's talent on this team, right? Marco Rossi situation is a little bit of a, it doesn't feel good. You know you're about to be traded. You know that they want you out. They know they have a replacement in mind or whatever, and you're still there now because you can't figure out a trade out, right? So, or you can't figure out a contract. So it's not a good feeling. Maybe this gets resolved by the time this podcast gets published. So you'll never know. If it gets resolved good, at least they could start the new season fresh. If not, I feel like it's a lingering cloud in the background.
They're trending. I mean, signing Tarasenko, can he get back to the good old Tarasenko days? I'm not sure, but they're bringing up young players. Yurov is going to be a great story this year for Minnesota to see what he can do in the NHL. So I think they're trending defensively. I mean, you got Brock Faber from, and that's the guy we're going to talk about. I mean, Bouillon seems like he will be starting the year with them.
Maybe.
So Spurgeon back full, healthy. Goaltending Gustafson, see if he can repeat what he did last year.
Are we going to see?
Or Jesper Wallstedt?
Wallstedt?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think these are definitely trending up, and there's some little sleepers for fantasy that you can pick up on.
So in summary, the decor is better. The goaltending, can it repeat what it did last year, especially in terms of Gustafsson? So that's a big question going into the season. But again, the X factor is going to be Marco Rossi, because even if they trade him, are they getting a second line center in return?
Mm-hmm.
And will he be better than Marco Rossi? So that's going to be very interesting. Nick, I'll head it to you. Let's break down the lineup, man.
All right. Well, we have the number one player, which is Kirill Kaprizov on the left-hand side. Joel Eriksson Ek is projected here, according to Daily Faceoff, to be the number one center. Matt Zuccarello rounds up the top three. Now, Matt Zuccarello is somebody that has very good chemistry with Kaprizov. Can it change? Maybe it could change next year. We don't know. But he seems to be benefiting quite a bit from that relationship. Matt Boldy starts off the second line. And right now they have Marco Rossi, but we don't know if that's going to change by the time this episode comes out. Is it going to be Daniel Yurov? Is it going to be somebody else that they bring up? Maybe Ryan Hartman goes back to center, because from what I read with The Athletic, and I forget the name of the author right now, but he was saying that this is like they
Michael
love
Russo?
Ryan. I think it was him.
Russo, he's the
They love Ryan Hartman, but he's got to keep his head straight, because he makes a lot of very bad decisions when it comes to certain hits and mistakes on the ice. So if Hartman could come back, he might be that second line center, or maybe it's the Danila Yurov, as mentioned by Vince. The other player is Vladimir Tarasenko. Guys, do you see anything here other than the Marco Rossi thing? I think we've beaten like a dead horse right now. Other than Rossi, do you see anybody else jumping in to that second line if Rossi's not there, or if Tarasenko doesn't make that second line?
The ideal guy would be Ryan Hartman, but like you said, he's got to keep his head on the swivel. Like he's last year, I had picked him up on a few leagues last year, because I thought he would have been at least in the top two lines, sometimes pushing up with Kaprizov, but he was just putting himself in a lot of trouble all the time on the ice. So I feel he could be one guy, or else Joel Eriksson Ek, can he be a number one centerman?
Well, he's been it.
Yeah, but not fantasy wise.
Not fantasy wise. No,
Yeah,
he would be a.
2 years ago, he had a pretty good season. Last year, the injury bug, he only played 46 games, but the year prior to that, he had 64 points in 77 games. So
it's not
number one center-ish, but
we're complaining that Suzuki gets 84 points, and we're not considering him. Some people are not considering him top line center.
But when you have a winger like Kaprizov that can get you 100 points, maybe you don't need your center to be a point per game.
Right. So
his wingers are not point per game players. Suzuki, they're not 100-point players, right?
Correct. Well, Kaprizov is the real driver of that line, right? So at the end of the day, everything's going to go through him. And Zuccarello is a good facilitator for him. Usually gets a lot of assists. Not all of them are secondary.
Mm-hmm.
But Eriksson Ek just seems to make space. He's that responsible defensive player, but also could crash the net. He's a big boy.
Yeah,
Eriksson Ek. So I find they complement each other really well in that sense, and they've created themselves some chemistry there. I'm very curious to see what Tarasenko brings to this second line, because if he is the player that sticks on that second line, I mean, we're not talking about very good production last year in Detroit. 80 games played, 11 goals, 22 assists for 33 points. That's not second line numbers, right? That's like third and fourth line numbers. but his time on ice in Detroit kind of reflected that. He was only averaging 14 and a half or 14:45, let's say, time on ice, when previous years he was doing 15:45 or 16:45 or 17:45, right? So he seems to be playing less and less.
Mhm.
Is his career going to resurge here in Minnesota at the age of 33?
I think he's on a good team for it. I think there's space for him to stay in the like. I don't see any of their bottom sixes pushing up to take his spot in the top six. So I think there's a bit more patience here with Tarasenko than there is in Detroit, where they had a few players that they wanted to push up to top six before him, right? So, I mean, when he was with Ottawa, he had 55 points. This is split Ottawa and Florida in 70 games. So it's not bad. Like for a depth player, it's not a bad season. Now, can he come back to that at 33? To me, it all depends who that center is on that second line. I mean, there's a big difference between Rossi and Yurov or whatever they have there, or Hartman. So I think that's the biggest question mark with Minnesota is Marco Rossi going to be there? Is he going to if not, who's that number 2 centerman in Minnesota?
I think it's almost fair to assume that any return for Marco Rossi is going to be a top 6 player.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be. It wouldn't make sense to do a futures trade for Rossi. I'm not a big fan of Tarasenko at this point in terms of fantasy. I mean, if he hits 40 points, he'll be lucky. Like I don't even think he'll play top 6, to tell you the truth. I think those days are over.
Maybe. And that's where Ryan Hartman comes in as maybe somebody that takes over that right wing position on the second line. So I'm expecting bigger things from Hartman and Yurov, right? There's no guarantee that Yurov comes in and plays center the way that Daily Faceoff has him.
I'm surprised they have no at center because from what I understood, he was always a winger.
So Yurov at right wing on that second line might be something that comes in. But don't forget, guys, he's a rookie. He played for KHL, Metallurg, Magnitorgorsk.
Oh my God.
I tried that. Okay,
he
I'll
won
try
a
that.
championship with them.
Matterlug.
Yeah.
Magnitogorsk. And actually, I said that well there. 25 points in 46 games played with them. But again, it's KHL and the guy was 20 years old, right? So it's a little bit different time on ice and all of that metrics. So are we seeing Yurov being that top sixer that we're talking about really here instead of Tarasenko then?
I see that happening only if Minnesota starts slipping in the standings. I think if they're still in that wild card and we're competing for a playoff spot.
You don't think that he's the second best right winger on the team? I'm just saying right winger, but
how many points do you think
he's a lefty.
Tarasenko can get you?
He plays right.
Tarasenko could get you maybe, let's say Tarasenko gets you a 50-point season.
Whoa.
50 points on playing on the second line.
If
he got 33 last year.
Yeah, but 2 years ago with Ottawa and Florida, he got 55. Okay. So, but I'm just saying if he goes towards that, because what's our sayings on rookies? 50 points, and you had a good rookie season, like a Calder type. I don't know if Yurov is that type of rookie.
I think it's just going to be, he's going to need an adjustment period.
Mm-hmm.
So to start, I don't see him maybe in the top 6, or he might lose his top 6 spot if he, excuse me, if he starts there. But if this team succeeds, he's going to have to produce at some point.
Okay.
I don't see this team being good enough right now offensively. They need him to be that 45-point rookie that we talk about. And he's older than most rookies would be.
Oh, he's 21.
He's 21. Going to be turning 22. But I mean, when you come from Russia, you're not like 19 or 18 after you're drafted, right? Yeah. So, I mean, he's going to be efficient. I think there's going to be like a learning curve for him. And as his time on ice, as he gets more time on ice, he'll be more effective and more productive. So, but I think it'll take time before he gets there.
Okay, let me throw. I know this is going a little bit long, but let me throw another name. Okay, because this top 6 in Minnesota is a little bit everywhere, and I kind of want to know your takes on this. Is there a possibility that Liam Ogren makes the top 6? I know he traditionally plays as a left winger, and Boldy is somebody that could play left or right, from what I remember. So, can Liam Ogren be that other piece on the top six there?
I think he might have the edge to start over Urov because he's played 24 games last year. He wasn't super productive, only 5 points, but he also only played 11 minutes a game, right? So, I mean, but at least he did gain that experience. He knows the speed of the game. He knows what to expect. He could earn himself a spot at training camp on that top six. He definitely can. I mean, is Marcus Johansson that good that he can't lose a spot? Or last year while Zuccarello was hurt, Kaprizov and Boldy together were on absolute fire.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say they don't put all their eggs in one basket on the first line, and then the second line gives an opportunity?
Coaches won't do that, but yes, you're right. It's possible. It's possible. It's still something that could happen.
I think it's very possible. I think if I had to put who's the favorite to earn the top six spot between Johansson, Tarasenko, Ogren, and Urov to start the season, I think I would put Ogren.
Okay, interesting.
Listen, the Minnesota Wild's training camp is going to be a very interesting training camp because that's where I think spots are going to be won and lost. So, and with this Minnesota team, if they're making a push to the playoffs, it's not necessarily because of those top six, but that defensive line that they've built.
Okay, so that's a good segue. Let's go on to the defensive
You're
side of things.
Man, he did that on purpose.
Yeah, I know he did it on purpose. He was tired of talking about forwards.
Exactly.
Brock Faber and Zeev Buium are going to be the pairing for the next decade, but not necessarily the pairing in the first year. And why do we think that Jared Spurgeon has a resurgence?
Well, he was injured. No, but he look at you playing with the words, huh? No, he was injured, but he's their captain. He was he was their point getter. He was their quarterback on the power play. So to me, I think he's gonna bring that experience that those two young guys need on the back line. Remember, they also have a David Jiricek in the back that's ready to come and play. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's not doing very well, but I'm just saying. So I think he's going to be a very stable presence in that top four that will keep Buium and Faber within their means.
He was on pace for 40 points last year.
Who's this?
Spurgeon. He was on pace for 40 points, which would have, and I don't have it in front of me anymore, but I believe that's top 20 in the league for defenseman points. So he still had if he would have finished with that, he still had a very productive season considering the fact that he only played 66 games.
Non-fantasy relevant at all, but Jared Spurgeon feels like the youngest, oldest guy. The guy's 36 years old. I feel like he's still like in his 20s every time.
I think he was like the original 5'9" defenseman.
It's wild to me that he's 36 years old.
Like nobody made it at 5'9" when he was a rookie.
Yeah, and anyways, but you're right. Everything Vince said is true. He's going to add stability to that back end. I think it'll allow Zeev Buium to maybe loosen up a little bit more.
Take the chances.
Yeah, take the chances. I think Zeev Buium, and then maybe you'll get to it, but he can have an effect on this team like Lane Hudson did with the Canadians.
Oof, that's bold take. With Brock Faber there, I think that because I don't think.
I mean, Brock Faber got 29 points last year.
Yeah,
it's
but
not hard to beat.
It's a sophomore year. What did he get the year before that?
A lot.
Exactly. Like I don't see Buium pushing Faber off of the power play one right now.
Maybe not this season.
In the future, yes. In the future,
but
you said that.
In the future.
Yeah, you said that about Hudson. It took time, though.
No, we said by the end of the year he's probably going to be the top power play guy, but we didn't expect it to be.
Was
in
it
the first
December?
10 games.
No, it was December.
It was December. Okay,
December. It was a couple of months into the season.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, they'll need some offense from the back end to make up for the question marks in the middle six there.
And then,
yeah. Well, Buium definitely is somebody that could turn around and put up some points there. I'm expecting, and I'll say what I said for Lane Hudson because I really feel like this is a very good season for a defenseman and an extremely good season if you're a defenseman.
Don't spoil it.
Why?
I think he's in the over/under.
God,
It's your segment. You should know.
I don't know.
Oh my god!
All right, so I'm not gonna say it, but I think that he's gonna do well. Other than that, guys, there's guys like Jacob Middleton. There's guys like we already mentioned Faber, we already mentioned Spurgeon, we already mentioned Zibuim. There's nobody else really that you would see
No, not that.
as a fantasy relevant points getting defenseman, right?
No, not as a defenseman. But if you're shifting to their goaltending now, the biggest question is: can Philip Gustafsson repeat what he did last year? Because if I'm not mistaken, he was top 5 in points, in fantasy points last year.
He had an incredible season
Incredible.
last year.
Anybody who had
Incredible.
Gustafsson as a goalie was finished top 3 in their league for sure because of
Or traded him for Pasternak.
or trading for Pasternak. Yeah, we won't mention that trade, huh?
But sell high, guys.
Yeah.
Sell high.
But-
Sometimes it's
But
worth it.
the thing with Gustafsson now is there's no flurry. It looks like the backup is the rookie Wallstead. What are you looking at? How are you guys seeing this game management? Are we looking like most teams are doing 50-30, or are we looking at like 60-20? Nick?
Well, so Gustafsson had one of the best seasons of his career last year, and he played 58 games. So I think 50-30 is fair. I think he could put up another 50 games this year
You think-
easily.
Yeah. But
And-
isn't that low? You think
I think-
you think Wallstead could put up 30 games this year?
I think Gustafsson will play more. But it'll be Wallsted's game that dictates that. If Wallsted is good enough, then they'll alleviate from Gustafsson when they can. But if he's not, then Gustafsson could easily almost hit 55 to 60 games.
Look, I mean, we're talking about the difference of between 50 to 55 is 5 games. Like, it's easy. An injury could derail that, right? Like, it's such a small number of games that we're talking about in an 82 game season. I think that the goal is to have Gustafsson as the number one and have Wallstad backing up. But you're also not taking your prized prospect goalie and telling him, here, only play 25 games. And what's the freaking point of having him in the NHL?
Only play 25 games. That's a lot of games.
It's not a lot of games. If that's the case, if he's your future, you do not give him 25 games in the NHL. You make him play in the AHL 82 freaking games straight,
But he has
so
nothing.
he could actually play.
But he has
games.
nothing to prove in the AHL. He's proven everything he has to in the AHL.
But then-
he didn't have a
but sitting
great year
behind-
last year.
Sitting behind Gustafsson and not playing that many games, like 25 games, is not going to help his development.
I don't know.
It's not. It's not going to help his development. You don't bring in your prize goalie to do absolutely nothing for you.
But I think
To hold water bottles and jock straps.
I think it's more complicated than that because
I think his
as much as he
salary is
likes, as much as he probably likes holding jock straps and stuff, his agent is going to say, I want to be in the NHL. I don't want to be in the AHL. I did my dues. I paid my dues. So there's more to it than just that. So I think he will be NHL. And the NHL, look, if he plays well, he'll get his games.
I think
that's
50-30
for
is
sure.
fair. I think 50-30
The
is
real
fair.
question I have is not so much on Wallstead, it's on Gustafsson because last year he had a splendid year, okay? 69 quality start percentage of 69. The year before that, in 45 games, his quality start percentage was 40. The year before that was 69.2. The year before that was 38. Okay, like he obviously played less and less games because the earlier he was in his career, the less he played. Like, are we gonna get another 60% plus quality starts, or are we gonna get 40% quality starts? That's what now Gustafsson has to prove: is am I a starter or am I an ideal 1A 1B goalie?
The most important thing with Minnesota this year is that it's the last year of Ryan Suter and Zach Parise being on their roster.
No, I think it's done.
I
No.
think it's done this year.
No,
That-
one more year, but at a lower cost. The last 2 years was at 14 and 14. This year's at 1.6 and 1.9. If I'm not
Okay, so
mistaken.
it's barely anything.
but it's the last year.
1.9.
There we go.
Okay.
Are you
please.
sure about that? I thought for sure it was.
I'm Junior. I'm on the best
I'm-
website in
I'm
the
not
world.
gonna doubt you.
Right here, Nick. 833,030 Zach Parise, and 833.
Jesus
Ryan
Christ, it's like
Suter.
2 minor league salaries this guy's worried about.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me about the power play.
So the Minnesota power play ranked last year in power play percentage 20th in the league. Considering they have guys like Kaprizov, Boldy, Faber, who wasn't great last year.
Kaprizov was injured.
Correct. Zuccarello is a super productive power play player. Personally, I mean, look, it's always easy to say if people stay healthy. If people stay healthy, they could line up like this with Eriksson Ek as their center, Boldy, Zuccarello, Kaprizov, and Buyem. Or Faber, depending who you think is going to get that spot. Right now, Daily Faceoff assumes that Buyem is going to be there. Again, these are just projections. It's not based off any intel because training camp will tell us
Hasn't
exactly
started.
what's happening, right? But given this situation, let's say Buyem or Faber, sorry about that. I definitely see an improvement coming. If this is the power play 1 unit, it should greatly improve their power play percentage. They should move up at least 5 spots. Do you guys see them improving on their power play going into this year? I mean, Rossi's not an X factor here because he's not on power play 1.
So I think if Buyem is going to be on that power play 1, we're talking probably around December, January, similar to Lane Hudson's emergence. I don't see him starting it off. I think you're probably looking at maybe Faber, but maybe Spurgeon as well. So do I think that it gives an improvement to this team? If they stay healthy, I think it's going to improve the power play. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not really doing rocket science here. But they haven't added any pieces that would impact that top power play unit. Tarasenko does not impact that power play unit, right? So, and Buyem, again, it might not be him this in the first year. So it's a lot of the same. It's a lot of the same. If they stay healthy, a few spots higher, but that's about it.
Well, yeah, I agree. Listen, I don't have much faith in Minnesota when it comes as a team right now.
Really?
Yeah,
It's going to be interesting for all those Minnesota Knights.
those Minnesota Knights.
Minnesonians.
No,
I don't know. How do you call them?
I don't know.
People that live in Minnesota.
Jeez, people live in Minnesota. That's how you call them.
All right.
But yeah, I listen.
Minis.
I was one guy who said Lane
Are you still
Hudson
talking?
was 35 points, whatever. Not going to be wrong again with Buyem, but it's very difficult for a defenseman, a rookie defenseman, to have the season Lane Hudson had. So I still think Brock Faber is their number one and take it from there. But, I mean, just Kaprizov playing, I think he played 41 games last
Yeah,
year.
41 games.
41 games to 82. You know that the power play is going up. So that's the way I would see it.
All right. Let's go over to the over and under for Minnesota, which was beautifully produced here by producer Vince. Kaprizov, over under. I'm going to ask first person to my left and then the person to my right. Kaprizov, 103.5 points. Over or under Junior?
103.
Da-na-na-na.
Give me the over.
Over.
Oh, definitely over.
All right. Next, Matt Boldy, 32.5 goals. Over or under?
Over.
Matt Boldy. I see him playing with Kaprizov all year. I don't see him. I don't see them splitting. He's going to be over 32.5.
That's a good explanation for something that's not going to happen. Marco Rossi, 69.5 points. I mean, if he stays on the team, if he's his number 2 center, I guess, is the reason he's here.
I'm gonna. Is it me or?
Yeah, left to right. Sorry, I
I'll-
was looking at him because
I'm prettier.
I'll go under. Under. I don't think. First of all, this whole contract situation never works out well. At least to start the season, so he's already going to start from behind. Give me the under.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Matt Zuccarello, 69.5 points this year.
Fuck.
Give me the under. I think we see a little regression. I'll go under.
Zuccarello.
So just to give you an example, last year he had 54 points in 69 games, which is a 64-point pace.
The years before that, 79, 67, 63, never playing 82 games. You have to take that into consideration. He's never played 82 games. He's a small forward. And if you played it, if I had more than 3 seasons where he played 80 games or more, I would say over, but he just can't stay healthy. So I'm going to go with the under.
All right. Brock Faber, the defensive stalwart, 38.5 points, Junior. Just to give everybody a reminder, he had 29 last year.
29 last year and 47 the year before. Funny enough, he had a higher shooting percentage last year that he only got 29 points than he did the previous year when he hit 47.
But he shot less.
But he shot, but not by much.
Less, yeah.
No, not by much. What's the total over under?
38.5.
38.5. I'll go under.
Ooh.
Slightly under.
Over. I think he'll be the runaway number 1 in that team this year.
Interesting. What's the reason why you think that?
Because he's sophomore year, you'll have that slump. A lot of players hit that slump, and they come back stronger the year after. I understand how much talent and ooze and raw talent William has, but man, what Brock Faber did his rookie year, I think he.
So you believe in that rookie year?
Yes,
basically?
100%.
Okay, cool. I don't. Z Bouillon, 38.5 points.
You just
Over
have
or
Bouillon.
under?
You guys are both Bouillon
Over.
lovers.
Over.
Under.
I think slightly under. Not because he doesn't have the talent, but I think that they're going to ease him in.
They're going to ease him in, but he'll get over.
All right, we'll see.
And you
We'll
guys
see.
have been Bouillon lovers since the draft.
Of course, I'm a Bouillon.
Of course.
This guy's amazing. And he actually has talent, not like Faber. Okay, so that's the
Shots
end
at
of the
Faber.
over
My
under.
God, what's going on?
That's the over under,
What
guys,
has
for the
Faber done
Minnesota
to you?
Wild. Let's move on to our top prospects.
Yeah, Bouillon.
No, actually,
Bouillon.
look at their top prospects, and it's Bouillon. So basically, most of their prospects are on their team. They have Zeke Bouillon here as number 1. David Yerchek, they have a number 2. I think that's a little high. Yurov as number 3, who's on the team. Wallstad number 4. Liam Ogren as number 5. And then they have guys that drafted in 2023. Riley Hyatt, Ryder Ritchie, who was a good pickup for them at 45th overall. Charlie Strammel he was picked 21st overall, but it doesn't seem like he's keeping up with his potential. And then in defense, they have Iron. Looking up in here, Kiviharju. Kiviharju. So they have him also as defense, who's known for his offensive ability. So listen, they're stacked prospect pipeline, and it seems like this is the time where most of their prospects are making their entrance into the big leagues, which means in the next 2 to 3 years, Minnesota is a team to watch.
Yeah, I mean they drafted some players here. One in particular in the 4th round that we were kind of excited about, which was Adam Benach. I think Victor Nuno was actually excited about him.
He's like 5'4", 5'6".
Yeah, full of talent, but very small. And I really didn't know much about the other defenseman that they drafted in the 2nd round. Hallquist.
I drafted him in Lama.
Did you? And what do you know about him? Because I'm sure you did your research before doing that.
He's offensive. He's smart. He finds the right lanes. So he's got all the tools to be it. He just has to keep it consistent. Like they're not sure if his traits will translate to the NHL. 100%.
So possibly like a middle 4 bottom.
With
pairing.
power play potential, but like with who they already have, it's hard. But like when you look at prospects, you can't look at the team that they're currently on because they could easily get
It's going to
traded.
take him 3 to 4 years to get there. So yeah, okay, cool. Bold predictions.
I just want to mention Riley Hyatt. I think Riley Hyatt is a player to keep an eye out on. He's got some good numbers with Prince George Cougars.
What are
90,
his numbers last year?
90 points in 60 games last year, 117 points in 66 games the year before. He's only 20 years old, so I think he's going to play in the AHL this year. That's going to tell us a lot about what to expect.
Like it. All right, bold prediction time. Guys, Minnesota Wild. I will be starting with the person on my right this time. Vince, can
wait for
you
this one. I'm ready,
give
baby.
me...
Yeah, 100%. You guys are hating on him, but Faber, 50 points.
Oh my
Wow.
Faber, 50 points this year.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Vin.
But
Junior.
no talent Faber, according to Nicholas.
My bold prediction, I did it with Hudson. I'm going to do it with him. Booyam, 50 points.
Woo!
The battle of the defensemen.
Ziv Booyam, Chingwanda Poond.
Yeah, on the bench.
In the playoffs, 0 power play time, by the way.
Okay, I'm going to do a bold prediction as well.
You're freaking right. You're going to do a bold prediction. Getting away with the over-unders. You should do 2 bold predictions.
How about Jared Spurgeon?
Oh, my God.
45 points this year.
I like it.
Okay.
Jeez,
All defensemen.
According to us, Minnesota's points are all coming from defensemen.
And Wallstat plays 40 games.
40 games, Wallstat. That means you don't think Gustafson's going to keep up his...
I think Gustafson has a possibility and a chance
Yeah?
to falter as the starting goalie again. Although
that's
last year he
interesting.
proved that he could do it. Who knows if he could do it 2 years in a row?
So, hold on. Vince, Faber, 50 plus. Junior, Booyam, 50 plus. Nick, Spurgeon,
45 plus.
45 plus. And
Wallstat.
Wallstat,
40 games played.
40 GP. Well, I mean, the defenseman's bold takes, that's a board bet. We each have a different name.
That is a board bet, my friends. We should put it up on the board.
Well, no, we're changing.
Well, look, I'll tell you what. I don't see neither of your players up there, but my guy's up there.
That's because I'm not the one that drew that.
Neither
All
did
right.
I.
Guys, that does it for the Minnesota Wild. Thank you very much for joining.
What are you
Let's
doing?
do the outro music.
We're
Nick just
so
wants to go home.
discombobulated here.
Nick just
But
wants to go
let's
home.
move on to the Nashville Predators.
Wait, we're not going to play the outro music and then do Nashville. Okay, fine. Let's do Nashville
How many-
Predators.
no.
The Smash.
You want to do episode 102?
No. I was just kidding. I was just playing around.
All right, let's move into the Nashville Predators.
Talking about discombobulated.
Yes, talking about
The
discombobulated.
Nashville Predators are a team that was put together by somebody playing NHL 25.
Yeah, they won the offseason, but lost the regular season.
Yes, they did.
And not even lost, they like completely faltered.
Well, big names though on this team, and guys like Forsberg, O'Reilly, Marchessault, Stamkos, Bunting. You're looking at a team that has attempted to recreate themselves on the fly, and that's not always easy to do, especially not on free agency. Now, there's some question marks as well regarding the health of Roman Josi, who is their number one player.
Yeah,
by far.
By far.
And then with that question mark, what are we expecting Nashville to be this year? Do we think Nashville is going to be a team that's fantasy relevant for us this year or not?
I think they can be fantasy relevant. I mean, we're going to get into details later with the players, but I think they have some forwards, a group of forwards that can provide a lot of points. I think there's some players that are due for a bounce back season that we'll get to a little bit later. There's the Roman Josi. I think even on defense, there's a player that I think could give a little bit more. And you know what happens when you get a bunch of players from different teams and try to put them all together in one off season. It takes time to gel. And we'll get into it a little bit later. But you started seeing in the second half that some players started getting the hang of it.
Yeah.
And I think that trend can continue. I think you can rely on them, but with a grain of salt.
I definitely see a bounce back year from Nashville. I think there's a bit too much talent there for it not to be a bounce back year. Like you guys said from the beginning, it's very tough building a team through free agency. Especially, they went really with they got Stamkos, who was a lightning lifetimer. And so I think they had this year, and they had time to reflect, and I believe that they could bounce back. Fantasy wise, man, they have a lot of risky players, that's for sure.
What I'm going to say is that I would approach the Nashville Predators the
With
same
caution.
way I would approach the color of their jerseys. It's a yellow flag being thrown in front of me. Like, be careful. It's caution.
Yeah.
The Philip Forsberg, probably one of the best Nashville players ever. Especially, definitely the best mustache ever. And I went out and I acquired this guy. Yes, he was on a heater when I acquired him, which I tend to do because I'm an emotional investor.
Do you eat like you invest?
Yes, I do. I also cook like I invest. Philip Forsberg is a player that I'm keeping because I kind of, have no choice. I have to keep him. I cannot sell him after having a bad season. And this year, I'm really hoping that they bounce back. I really am hoping that they bounce back because, first of all, it's a great fan base.
Mhm.
The fan base is amazing. I would love to see Nashville being relevant again, especially with some of the names that they have there. And I'm getting older, and I'm starting to get a little sympathetic to the older players, and they have a lot of older players.
Okay, so let's talk about these older players. Let's talk about these players that you're sympathetic for.
Well, so Philip Forsberg is the top line left winger. Ryan O'Reilly is the top line center. I don't see any of that changing anytime soon. Jonathan Marchessault, there was rumors of him possibly being traded.
Yeah.
I don't know if those have subsided, but it is the dead season right now in hockey. So it might be a change before the regular season, but right now he's still there. The problem that I see with this top line is that I think they're all over the age of 35.
Forsberg's 31, I think.
Okay, so Forsberg's the only young gun on that team, but just O'Reilly and Marchessault are both older players, right? Then you have Stamkos, who for the longest time in Tampa Bay was known as the goal scorer of that team.
Mm-hmm.
Kucherov would be setting him up most of the time, but he couldn't really play center anymore in Tampa Bay. He couldn't keep up with the Tampa Bay speed. And when he came to Nashville, he kind of tried him. They tried him as the number one center a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly he played, I think they realized that he can't really play center anymore. So they moved him to the wing as well. And that's 4 out of the top 6. The next 2 players, I think, are players that are up in the air. There's Fedor Svechkov that Nashville has put there. There's Luke Evangelista, who Daily Faceoff has put on their projection.
He's currently still a restricted free agent, if I'm not mistaken.
Michael Bunting, Eric Holla, and Zachary Lheureux round out the top 9, according again to Daily Faceoffs. So what do we see here? Do we see, first of all, who is Svechkov? And do we see him being a top 6 player?
He's got the talent to do it. He had a rookie season last year where mind you, the whole Nashville team was a dumpster truck fire. So, but I mean, he had 17 points in 52 games. Got sent back to the Admirals in the AHL, and he had 12 points in 13 games. 19th overall pick. He has the talent to do it. Now, did he get enough experience last year to prepare himself better for the NHL? There's a lot of question marks with this Nashville team, starting with the back end with Yossi not knowing what's happening, but even their top 6. I mean, can you guys, like most teams, the first top 5 players, you can cement them in the lineup. Can you cement more than 4 players in this lineup in the top 6? I mean, Evangelista, can we say, oh yeah, he's a legit top 6?
He was up and down all year last year. I have him, so I was keeping tabs on him. He would sometimes get power play 1. He would sometimes be on the second line. He would sometimes be on the third line. Like, they were just juggling to try to see what sticks. And nobody really earned that spot because he didn't stay there. But I mean, I'm gonna bring back. But like, is that his fault or is it that the superstars also weren't having a
But
good
that's the
season?
question with Nashville: is are these young players not playing to their potential because the team just had awful year last year, or is it because they're overvaluing these
I think
young players?
I think the players we see, these young players, I think they're complement players and not play driver players. So like they're not going to make those around them better. They need other players to make them better. And so I think it's unfair to expect, let's say, as Veshkov and Evangelista to be 70-point players, 65-point players. And like I'm just gonna touch on Stamkos before we move on to the defenseman, but in this the final quarter of the season, he really that he got 17 points in 21 games. So that he started to find his groove, and he also increased his minutes a little bit. So that's what I was referring to in the intro. Is I think that can carry over and help more than just Stamkos. That's going to help those he plays with too. And Marchessault, like people think he had a bad season. He did because he was a minus 29, but he was always between 60 and 70 points, and he finished with 60 points.
The good thing with Nashville is they didn't get rid of their coach, so they're coming in with the same mentality, not mentality, but same system with 1 year of
Some
practice.
continuity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
you
a
know?
good word.
So I think that's going to be to Nashville's advantage.
Yeah, I think continuity is a big thing. You're absolutely right. I also think that it's just a team that wasn't well built. You know, Marchessault is known as a shooter. Stamkos is known as a shooter. Forsberg is known as a power forward shooter, right? Like everybody does the same freaking role in this team.
Who's
Like,
going to pass that?
Who's passing it? Who's going in with it? You know, who's the puck carrier? So I just felt that, you know, Svechkov, by the way, ended up having 13 games played in the AHL Milwaukee Admirals in 2024, 2025. He got 12 points.
Rewind.
So, well, because I was talking about him before you guys went off on tangents here. I think as the top, he does have the first chance to be a top 6 center on this team. So we'll see how that goes. But, you know, if he doesn't pan out, there's nobody else.
But that's what I'm saying. You got to give him
Eric Holla?
What about Kindle? Is he ready for the NHL?
No.
Kamel.
Kamel?
Yeah.
Oh, Kindle.
No.
With
We'll
Pittsburgh. I don't
get
know.
to it.
It's another yellow team.
We'll get to it after, but
Kamel is so I actually looked into Kamel, and I can't remember
because he played 2 games last year.
That's right. Well, what did he do in the minors?
I have it here.
Joaquim Kamel in the minors.
40 points in 65 games.
That's not good.
No.
Well, it's not bad, but it's
bad.
not good.
The NHLE is 25 points.
It's
not great.
It's not great. Like you're expecting a lot more. I mean,
that was his second
By the
full
way,
season in the AHL.
What does Kamel do really, really well?
Score.
He shoots the puck. So you have another guy that shoots the puck. Who's gonna freaking carry the puck? Anyways, I have my gripes about Nashville. I think that you know, love the fan base, love the coach, love the fact that I love their GM, by the way.
Torts.
But
Torts. Yeah, Torts.
Trotz.
It's a big difference between Torts and Trotz.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be interesting to see how they kind of move forward because they do need some good stability, especially in the center position, I find.
Yeah. And then in the back end, the one guy who knows how to pass the puck.
You know, so that's very true. You know, if Roman Josi goes down, who are we expecting to take over that defensive?
Guys, Brady Shea is going to have a good year.
I think Brady Shea has the ability to do something.
In the first half of the season,
I'm not confident.
He had 13 points in 42 games. Okay, 13 points in 42 games in the first half. The second half of the season, in 40 games, 20 points.
It's pretty. It's still no. That's not bad. I mean, it's not.
But
bad.
I mean, if you want to bring it down, bring it up a little more, the final quarter of the season in 21 games, he had 12 points. So again, another player that was trending upwards towards the second half and end of the season. I expect that to carry over. Now, like, what does that mean? He still scored 10 goals, guys. For a defenseman, that's pretty good. Double digit.
He's had the ability to be maybe not a starter, like a number one power play guy, but if you have no choice and you have to put him there, he's fantasy relevant.
I
Yeah,
think he
for
can
sure.
flirt with the 40
Right?
points.
No, he's guaranteed fantasy relevant. Listen, relevant. If you have him as your first defenseman, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But if you have him as a 5-6 on your team, even if as a 4, he could be very relevant on your team.
Yeah, his peripherals are
Especially with Yossi. If Yossi's not starting this
bingo.
season,
That's a big X factor.
he's the one who's taking that number one spot. It ain't gonna be Justin Barron.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Barron. I mean that he was not a player that was very, very lucrative for Montreal, and a lot of defensive warts to his game. So I don't think Justin Barron is your savior there. Nick Blackenberg could run a second power play. I don't think he'll ever be a first power play guy.
It'll have to be Tanner Mollendijk when he's ready, but I don't think he's going to get a chance.
And
Nicholas Haig, not really an offensive guy.
they got him
Perbix,
from
It's-
Vegas, right?
yeah.
It's going to be a long season for Nashville, guys.
You think?
Like I think Perbix and Haig are two very good defensive defensemen. You know, maybe something could come from that, but
I'll take your comment and go into goaltending. If Saros has one of those seasons, what tells you that Nashville can't compete for one of those wild card spots? I mean, he did have a god awful season last year, like god awful season. It's so bad that they went to get Anunin just to back him up. But I don't see Saros having another bad season.
I mean, he had a save percentage under 900, but just barely.
it's bad.
It's bad for Saros.
But his goals are
Saros standards.
Yes, but so you're saying his standards, but what are his standards? His exceptional 2 seasons or his average? Like he had a goals against average under 297. The year before was 286. The difference in all that is the 15 wins. He had 15 less wins. That doesn't mean it's Saros necessarily always playing bad. His quality starts went from 54 to 48.
Okay, so maybe we should reschedule that or reword that. Because there's yellow flags on the defensive core in Nashville, there's some yellow flags in the offensive core in Nashville. I think it's by retrospect, you should have yellow flags on UC Saros.
Yeah, but like his
He
goals,
should improve. I'm not saying he's not going to improve.
You
but-
own him.
his
No, I
average
traded him
does
before
improve.
Me too. I traded him to you because of the yellow flags. But
No.
in my head-
Before he was going to sign his deal on the year where he had his best season there in 2022, 2023. After that season, I traded him and then he started. I forget what I got in return.
But the thing with Saros is his career goals against
Sergachev, I think.
is 2.68. Last year was at 2.98. That's a lot. His save percentage career wise is 0.914. He was at 0.895. Any goalie under 900 shouldn't be starting.
Yeah, that was the first
as a
time
goal
since his
as-
rookie season he was under 900.
So that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
I think with Nashville, the problem is it was a dumpster fire from the beginning. The problem is this year, is it the same dumpster fire or is there a switch?
I think they understand better who they have now. In the sense of Stamkos not being their number one center. In the sense of, these guys are starting to get a little bit more chemistry with each other. But like you said, there's still red flags with Yossi. We don't know about Yossi and how he's going to play. Is he going to play? It's hard to envision a very confident person without seeing training camp, without seeing how the season's going to unfold, right?
And no pressure of you winning the offseason, right? They're not coming with that pressure.
yeah, now they have no pressure because
Yeah,
people think they're
exactly.
going to falter
They're
again.
going to falter, so it could work to their advantage.
The last thing I'll add on Saros is his goal save above expected was -10. That's not always necessarily just on your decor. That's not just necessarily on the team in front of you. So I don't know what's going on there, but he has it. He has all the tools to bounce back. So who knows? But yeah, Nashville can't go anywhere if he doesn't bounce back to those elite numbers.
No, exactly.
Are we ready for some over and unders?
Let's get ready to rumble.
Under.
This guy's gonna get flagged now. Look at that.
All right. Nashville Predators over under. We'll start with the player that I own in Lama. Forsberg. Philip Forsberg. 38.5 goals. This time, because I started with because I started with Junior for Minnesota, I'm going to start with Vince, and then I'll move over to Junior. Forsberg, 38.5 goals.
38 and a half. I'm going to go with the over.
Wow.
I think he can get to that 40 point. That
40 goal.
I think he can get to the 40 goals if with all the players around him getting better, because Forsberg wasn't bad last year. I mean,
No, surprisingly,
it
he was
wasn't
not
bad. Like, he was 76 points, and then his closest guy was 56, so he was 20 points ahead. So if
He was the best player on the team.
if the other guys could bring up their point total, I feel it's advantages to him. So I think over.
I'm going under. I mean, I think he'll hit 30 goals. Getting to 38 is a little rough.
Yeah,
he hasn't shown enough to me that he could do it.
He had
consistently.
31 last season. He had 48 the year before that.
That's an outlier, though. Well, I mean,
Not really. I mean, he had 42
in 69 games, yeah.
Right. So if anybody could do it, Forsberg can. But you're absolutely right that it's still a little bit of a yellow flag. There's a lot of yellow flags in this team. Stamkos, 34.5 goals.
34.5 goals.
Wow, that's pretty high.
Well, the way he finished the season last year, you would imagine that he carries it over, like you said. Well, put your money where your mouth is.
27 goals last year in 82 games and had an off year. I still don't think. No, I'm going to go with the under in this one.
Slightly under, or
slightly? I think he hits 30, but I don't think he gets over 34.5.
I'll go over. I'll put my money where my mouth is.
Booyah!
About time. Money shot.
Look, he just needs to go back to how much he only took 173 shots last year.
Yeah.
The previous seasons he was 240, 241, 260. If he can go to 200, he's gonna get 35 goals.
I like it. Vince, Jonathan Marchessault.
Ooh.
63.5 points.
Oh, yeah. Definitely over.
Over?
Yeah.
All right.
Last year, bad season, 56 points. You're asking for 9 extra points.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be battling for a wild card.
I agree with Vince. Yeah, he can hit 60.
You know what I've noticed? After doing these team previews, I'm excited to watch these teams.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
We have
during
no
the season.
time, but yeah.
Well, we have a podcast. We have to have time. Bunting from a third line. Maybe third line,
Just
maybe
wanted
not.
to throw Cal Dubas in there, you know? That was a little
22.5 goals, Vince. It's not easy. It's not as easy as it sounds.
You're going to be a homer and go over.
Wow. Homer for who?
To piss off those Toronto guys.
I mean, he's been on 3 teams since then.
Exactly.
23 and a half.
22.5.
That's the 23 goals.
I'll go just slightly under. He's going to end at 22.
He had 19 last year, 19 the year before that, 23 the year before that, 23.
In fairness, in the 2 seasons he got 19, he was traded, so he played with 2 teams. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it going over, but I'll stick with the under.
All right. Ryan O'Reilly, the grizzled vet.
Yeah, this guy is
56.5 points.
Jesus, 34 years old. If you were to tell me if he was going to be 56% in the face-off circle, it'd be 100%. Man, the problem is who's taking away his number 1 center role? There's nobody. They barely have someone to take away the second center role. So he's going to be playing with Forsberg. And if my sayings are right that they're going to be competing, he's going to have to get over that. So I'm going to go over.
All right.
I'm also going to go with the over.
Wow. All right. Brady Shea.
Oof.
This is going to be an interesting one. Again, just a reminder, nice little note here, Vince.
Yeah, no problem.
Yossi might be out for a while. We're not sure. Brady Shea, 40 points, over or under? 40.5 if you want to make it special.
I think he goes over 40 this year. And not even because of Yossi's injury.
Wow, that's impressive.
I think it's a tight line. I go under because he gets 40 on the dot.
Interesting. I'll also go under, thinking a little bit slightly under, but 37, 38. But yeah, I like it. All right. That's it for the over-under.
Tell us about the prospects we sort of already mentioned throughout.
Well, they're bad. The prospect pipeline is really bad when they're 3 of the top 10 prospects are from the 2025 draft. That was a very bad draft too. So listen, they have
Presumably.
Oh, because
Yeah.
they had 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, exactly. So you have Brady Martin that they picked 5th overall. So I'm guessing he's their biggest prospect here.
He's their number one center
They
of the
are
future.
hoping he's going to be their number one center, and there'll be no doubting that he'll be their number one center.
Most likely, though, that he's going to be more of a Sam Bennett,
Yeah,
so
I
maybe a
think so,
second
too.
liner. But yeah,
Then you have Tanner Molndijk.
Molendijk.
Molndijk, he's a left-handed defenseman, 20 years old, picked 24th overall in 23 draft pick. He had a solid AHL season, so I think he's progressing. I'm pretty sure they don't want him to rush into
AHL,
the-
or was he still in juniors?
No, I think he was in the AHL, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, just to make sure.
Yeah,
I like how
his last season was Medicine Hat Tigers,
Yeah, I
26
think
points
he's
in
going to
28
be
games.
the AHL this
Yeah.
year because he's
So that's
hitting
it.
his 20.
Yeah, he's going to be. Yeah, that's it.
But I mean, if
But those are good numbers.
if Yossi's not there, so then they have David Enstrom from a trade that they got from San Jose. So it's not even one guy they picked themselves, mind you. Nashville's
and
always
he
been
came from
undefeated,
Vegas. That guy, it's his 3rd team. He hasn't played a game in the NHL.
right? Then Cameron Reed, who they picked 21st overall
Did we pick Cameron Reed
this year.
Sure did.
in DPR league?
Uh,
Dauber prospect
Matthew
reportedly?
Wood, who I think is in their starting lineup, if I'm not mistaken, on daily faceoff. Yeah, as a 4th liner. So not sure how well he's gonna do.
Riker Lee is in
Riker
the-
Lee this year once again drafted. Joaquin Kimmel at one point he's gonna have to see if he's really a 17 overall pick, right? We're gonna have to see if he can crack the top 6 because if he can't, time's running out.
I
for
see
him.
a lot of middle 6 here, middle
Yeah.
of the pack prospects here, B level.
Igor Surin was supposed to be one that could crack that top 6.
curious
but even
about him.
him.
I'm
we-
very
we would have
curious
to see.
about
And
him.
then the goalie they drafted Jack Yankovic was
Bankovic.
Italian Canadian, right?
Yes, he's
Yes,
Canadian.
clearly Italian.
And he's like another 5 foot nothing goalie.
But I'm guessing they drafted him basically to protect themselves, and that's because they give away Askarov. So
I mean, they
that
still
was
have
the-
Anun in there, but
yeah, Annunen, exactly. So, but I mean, like I said, the prospect pipeline, 3 of the top 10 is from the 2025 draft, which wasn't the
No, but at least they got something.
Yeah, exactly.
They needed to replenish that prospect.
100%, especially with the older players that they have on their rosters. They have no choice.
Absolutely. All right.
shall we?
We shall.
What do we shall?
Okay, first of all, where do they finish in the standings?
You have Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg, St. Louis, Utah, Nashville.
Minnesota.
Holy crabbies.
You got Minnesota.
It's a tough division. It's a tough division in the sense that, okay, you're not very confident about Minnesota,
But Utah's there.
but Utah,
St. Louis, I think they're.
St. Louis, I think is in.
No, I think
I think they're in.
I don't think St. Louis. I think St. Louis are. How do you call those?
They're so
Regression.
well built, man. They're so well
Fakers.
built.
Pretenders, Vince.
The pretenders. I think the pretenders.
Mm.
Okay, so let me
I don't
give
see
you
why you say
this.
that.
These were the standings last year: Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, the top 3, and Minnesota and St. Louis got the wild cards. Utah, Nashville, Chicago on the out looking in.
So Utah only had 89 points. St. Louis had 96 last year.
I think Utah is the one who are going to make that jump this year. But I you know what? I'm going to say Nashville finishes. It's going to be.
I think exactly where they are this year.
No, I think Minnesota, and then I think Utah is just going to miss it, and Nashville will make it.
So you say Minnesota moves down, St. Louis moves down,
St. Louis moves down. Nashville
Utah
takes their
moves
place.
in,
No.
and Nashville moves in?
No, Utah doesn't move in. They barely make it. Minnesota stays in.
Minnesota stays in,
And
St. Louis is out, and Nashville's
Nashville's in. Yeah, that's where I think.
Yeah, I think that St. Louis has a better chance than Minnesota to keep.
I
stay
think
there.
Nashville finishes bottom 3 in the league.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Bottom
No,
5. Bottom 5.
so no hope that all these guys learned something from last year.
It doesn't mean they're going to win. They could get points. It doesn't mean they're going to win.
I think if you take Yossi out of that lineup, I think a bottom 5
obviously,
finish is
yeah.
very possible.
100%. If you take Yossi out, then
If you
yes.
keep Yossi in,
As their differentials minus 60, man.
no, but that was last year.
I know, but
Different team, Junior,
No.
different team. You gotta let that go, man.
They didn't change the coach. They didn't bring in much on the back end. Anyways, let's go with the hot takes.
Let that shit go. All right.
Vince, start with you.
Oh wow, off the bat, just like that. My hot take. What is my hot take gonna be? Hey, man.
The hot take is there is no hot takes. They suck.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Listen, I'll go Michael Bunting hitting 30 goals.
That's pretty hot.
That's my hot take.
He's on fire. Nick,
I don't know. After that, I feel like I can't say anything. I say that Nashville misses the playoffs, which is not a hot take, but wins the lottery.
No, you're wrong.
That's the number 7 seed.
what a cop out, this guy.
First thing you know, the lottery is going to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
This is a yellow team too. Maybe they get confused.
Pittsburgh. It's written in the skies.
Okay. Let me give you a real one. I say Fedor Zvechkov gets 50 points this year.
If he does, I keep him on my fantasy team. If I don't, you give me a first round for him.
I'm not giving you shit. Zvechkov hits
50 points. Wow.
50 points as the number 2 center.
I'm gonna go that UC Saros has a year of 3 or more goals against average and under 900 save percentage. Again. No. So his goals against average was 2.97. So he was not under 3 last year.
You're saying
over
he's
3.
going to have a worse year than he had last year.
Correct.
Wow. That's pretty
Hey,
bold.
you want
Come on.
bold? I'll give you bold, bro.
That's pretty bold. I mean, that's not hot sauce bold, but it's, barbecuing bold, I guess.
Buffalo Wild Wings?
Yeah, that's hotter than you.
Wow. Yeah, but it's because he doesn't have him on the team anymore. If
That's
he had him
right.
on his
I don't
team,
hold his stocks.
That's why he doesn't hold any stocks
Yeah.
in yet. Guys,
But you know what I do hold stocks in?
wait, hold on. Before you go there, I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up to our little get together for our 100th episode. We really appreciate you guys showing up. And then please follow, subscribe. Do you have something to say?
I just want an extra thank you to
Batista for
Batista
Sportira.
and then Sportira, Patisserie Boulangerie Italia for providing food.
yes.
ANC Photo Boots, THPN. Thank you to everybody who made that.
night special.
Yeah, and our field reporter Amanda Rucco.
You're
Listener Rooks.
And remember, follow, subscribe. You'll have a chance to enter our pool.
Guys, enter this pool. It's going to be fun. You can have as many teams as you want. There's a price for each, obviously, but there's prizes at the end for it as well. So it
Exactly.
could be a lot of fun.
Have a good night, peeps.
Have a good night, y'all.